Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I'm Lipakshi Khurana. Here are the top stories we're tracking for you on Monday, the 29th of January. Indian President kicks off budget session of Parliament. Eleven soldiers killed in attack on a military academy in Afghan capital, Kabul. And Nepal's constitution unlikely to be amended soon, says top CPN UML leader. And now for all the details, the budget session of the Indian Parliament was kicked off by President Ramnath Kovind on Monday. The government is looking forward to pass several key legislations in the session.
The upliftment of the farmers and raising their living standards by solving their problems is the top priority of the government, Indian President Ramnath Kovind said on Monday ahead of the release of the budget for the year. While addressing lawmakers of both the upper and the lower houses of the Indian Parliament at the opening session of the budget session, Kovind indicated that the budget would be favorable for the farmers.
किसानों की मुश्किलों का समाधान करना और उनके जीवन को ऊपर उठाना मेरी सरकार की उच्च प्राथमिकता है। मेरी सरकार की योजनाएं न केवल किसानों की चिंता कम कर रही हैं, बल्कि खेती पर होने वाले उनके खर्च को भी घटा रही हैं।
The union budget, which will be presented by Indian Finance Minister on Thursday, will be crucial for the government as it faces various challenges, from the impact of the rollout of a new tax reform to the plight of farmers and increasing rate of inflation. The government is expected to prioritize rural spending in the budget. Some relaxation in individual income tax slabs or tax rate is also expected in order to boost urban disposable incomes.
In news from Pakistan, the Islamabad High Court or IHC accepted for hearing on Monday a contempt of court petition against Pakistan's ousted Premier Nawaz Sharif and his daughter Maryam Nawaz. The petitioner has claimed that the father-daughter duo uttered anti-judiciary remarks at a rally in Court Morning and in Punjab House in August last year. Thus, contempt proceedings should be initiated against them. Sharif was disqualified as Prime Minister by the Supreme Court in its landmark judgment in the Panama Papers case in July last year. Since then, Accountability Court has been hearing 3 corruption references against him and his family for owning assets beyond known sources of income. In December last year, the IHC had dismissed a similar contempt petition against Sharif. And moving on, Baloch activists recently held a demonstration against the governments of China and Pakistan in London City. They demanded an end to the human rights violations being inflicted on the Baloch community in the name of economic development in the occupied region of Balochistan.
Activists from the Baloch Republican Party or BRP recently held a 2-day protest against multi-billion-dollar China-Pakistan Economic Corridor or the CPEC project in London City. The protesters raised slogans against the CPEC project, sale of Baloch lands in Gwadar and human rights violations in Balochistan by Pakistan. They blamed China for helping Pakistan in committing war crimes and genocide in Balochistan in the name of constructing the multi-billion-dollar project passing through the southwestern province. They also blamed the Pakistan army for carrying out military operations and forced disappearances, extrajudicial executions and killings in the region. Baloch activists have for long blamed China has been playing a very negative role in the region in pursuit of its economic goals. They claim the project has only brought death and destruction for the local people instead of economic opportunities.
In news from Afghanistan, 5 militants on Monday struck an army outpost near Afghanistan's main military academy in Kabul city, killing at least 11 soldiers and wounding several. Militant group Islamic State claimed responsibility for the attack.
More than 10 soldiers were killed and several wounded after militants attacked an army outpost near one of Afghanistan's main military academies in Kabul city on Monday. Defense Ministry officials said the militants attacked the outpost near the well-defended Marshal Fahim Military Academy just before dawn. 2 attackers blew themselves up 2 were killed and 1 was arrested in the clashes with security forces, which lasted for about 5 hours. Militant group Islamic State has claimed responsibility for the attack. The attack came 2 days after an ambulance bomb in the center of the city killed more than 100 people, and just over a week after another attack on the Hotel Intercontinental killed more than 20. Both of those attacks were claimed by the Taliban.
Moving on to news from Bangladesh, Indonesia's President Joko Widodo, continuing his South Asian tour on Sunday, visited a Rohingya refugee camp in Bangladesh. Widodo's visit comes as Bangladesh is struggling to cope with an influx of Rohingya refugees who have fled an army crackdown in Myanmar since August last year.
Indonesian President Joko Widodo on Sunday visited a Rohingya refugee camp in southern Bangladesh's Cox's Bazar district. Widodo's visit comes as Bangladesh is struggling to cope with an influx of over 650,000 Rohingya refugees who have fled an army crackdown in Myanmar's Rakhine province since August last year. During his visit to the refugee camp, Widodo said his government will provide more amenities such as health and education centers.
I would like to thank all parties in Indonesia, including the communities and humanitarian NGOs who have worked hand in hand with the government in providing humanitarian aid in Myanmar and Bangladesh.
Earlier in the day, Widodo also held talks with Bangladeshi Premier Sheikh Hasina in the country's capital, Dhaka city. The meeting between the two leaders resulted in the signing of 5 pacts on trade via forming a preferential trade agreement.
In news from Nepal, Nepal's CPN UML has dismissed the possibility of amending the constitution to address the demands of the Madhesi-based parties. A CPN UML party leader said they are not rigid against amending the constitution, but it cannot happen only because the Madhes-based parties are demanding it.
Nepal's CPN UML party leader Pradeep Gayavli has said constitution amendment cannot happen only because the Madhes-based parties are raising it, as there must be consensus among all the parties. Gayavli said they are not rigid against amending the constitution, but there must be some convincing reasons and justifications for it. The remarks by a leader of Nepal's Left Alliance, which is slated to form the government, comes at a time when the Madhes-based parties have made the constitution amendment a precondition to support the Left Alliance in government formation. Countering the claims of Madhes-based parties that their call for statutory changes was endorsed by the people, Gayavli said the major parties like Nepali Congress, CPN UML and the Madhes-based parties had received an equal share of votes in province number 2, a predominantly Madhesi region, in the recently held polls. Left Alliance comprising of CPN UML and CPN Maoist Centre, which fought the two-face of Nepal polls, had secured the majority in the parliament and is now likely to lead the next government.
A unique fashion show was held on Sunday in India's western Gujarat province. The show included as many as 40 differently abled people. It aimed at boosting confidence of the participants and to promote equality.
A fashion show for differently abled persons promoting equality was recently held in India's western Vadodara city. The fashion show titled Aramb was organized by a private organization working in the fields of health and education for the underprivileged, differently able and women.
ये बहुत ही वंडरफुल फैशन शो है और ऐसा यूनिक फैशन शो गुजरात में पहली बार हो रहा है तो हमें बहुत खुशी है हमारा जो कॉन्फिडेंस लेवल है वो बढ़ गया है.
The first of its kind show was aimed at building self-esteem of the participants while giving a message of equality. Participants donned tailor-made outfits that were stitched to make them feel comfortable in their skin. audience too applauded the participants and appreciated the initiative.
Traditional bull taming sport Jallikattu attracted scores of visitors in India's southern Tamil Nadu province on Sunday. The festival, in which men wrestle bulls, is held to mark a harvest festival in southern parts of India.
Hundreds of people in Coimbatore city of India's southern Tamil Nadu province took part in the traditional bull taming sport Jallikattu on Sunday. Excitement level was at peak when people took part in Jallikattu bullfights in which men wrestled with rampaging bulls. The spectators were filled with joy and excitement as they watched participants taming the bulls. Adult and aggressive bulls ran amok across the ground and were chased by the participants as the spectators filled the atmosphere with whistles and cheer.
போன வருஷம் நாங்கள் ஜல்லிக்கட்டுக்கு வேண்டி எல்லாம் போராட்டம் பண்ணோம், தமிழ்நாடு ஃபுல்லாக பண்ணோம். கடைசியில் பார்த்தா எங்களுக்கு இந்த வருஷம் நம்ம கோயம்புத்தூர்லேயே எங்களுக்கு முதல் வருஷமாக நடக்குது ஜல்லிக்கட்டு. எங்களுக்கு ஆக்சுவலி பார்த்திங்கன்னா பொங்கல் வந்து இன்னைக்கு தான், கோயம்புத்தூருக்கு இந்த வருஷம் பொங்கல் எங்களுக்கு இன்னைக்கு தான்.
As per the tradition, garlanded bulls with vermilion marks on their heads are released into the crowd from an enclosed area and later they are chased by the participants. Last year, the Tamil Nadu province unanimously passed an amendment bill clearing the path to conduct the sport, which was outlawed by India's Supreme Court in 2014, stating it as cruel.
Well, that's the way it was in South Asia this evening. Before we conclude, the top stories once again. Indian President kicks off budget session of Parliament. Eleven soldiers killed in attack on military academy in Afghan capital, Kabul. And Nepal's constitution unlikely to be amended soon, says top CPN UML leader. Now our viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/Asia Newsline and follow us on Twitter @Asia Newsline. Well, that's all in tonight's edition. We'll see you same time tomorrow. Good night.